On 3rd down and 6, here they come. Gordon's coming. Levis gets wrapped up. Flings it ahead. It's picked off. Tyreek Stevenson will give the Bears the lead on another defensive play.
This is Will Levis, or at the very least, this is the end of his career with the Tennessee Titans. Before this play, Will Levis had been a promising young QB prospect who had just been handed the reins of the Tennessee Titans franchise. 7 seconds later, and he was an internet meme, and questions about his future with the team had begun to slowly surface. But let's go back a bit, because in order to understand the fall of Will Levis, we must first understand how he rose. Welcome back, Tiger Pack. It's your boy, Black Tiger Talks, and I'm here to talk about the short rise and crushing fall of Will Levis. There are many places in which we can begin the tale of Will Levis. However, for the sake of brevity, let us start at the 2023 NFL Draft. At the time, the Tennessee Titans had two very controversial quarterbacks on their roster. The first was Ryan Tannehill, who had been our franchise QB for the past couple of years. However, after the infamous Bengals playoff game in which he threw an interception on the first offensive play of the game, another interception midway through the second half, which was crucial, and a third interception on the final offensive play of the game, which effectively gave the Bengals the win and ended our Super Bowl window. After all that, Tennessee Titans fans were more than ready to move on. His heir apparent was supposed to be Malik Willis, who we had drafted in the previous draft class in the 3rd round. But after a few lackluster performances in the previous season, many Titans fans had given up on him as well. Enter Will Levis, a 6'3" gunslinger from Kentucky with a rocket arm, a beautiful arm motion, and all the confidence in the world. When the Tennessee Titans traded up to grab him with the 33rd overall pick, the Tennessee Titans fans were absolutely ecstatic, or at least most of them were. At the time, there were two main camps of detractors. The first were Tennessee Volunteer fans, the college team, who, due to their rivalry with Levis's college team, the Kentucky Wildcats, had seen his flaws up close and personal in their annual game with each other. Still, their concerns were largely dismissed as leftover resentment from the aforementioned rivalry, and thus, ultimately speaking, there was no need to really go into that. Meanwhile, the second camp was comprised of Malik Willis truthers, who insisted that giving up on the former Liberty Flame only after 3 games of play was a terrible mistake. But they too were dismissed as fans of Malik, who had yet to come to terms with their preferred quarterback's obvious lack of ability. And thus, with those detractors dismissed, Tennessee Titans fans readied themselves for Will Levis' time in the spotlight. And when Ryan Tannehill's obvious decline in performance and a debilitating injury forced him to sit out the Week 8 game against the Atlanta Falcons, it seemed, they finally had their chance and finally had their wish to see him in action.
Levis off the fake, looking for Hopkins. He's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee. 2nd down, back to Will Levis. Caught by Hopkins on the run, and he spins into the end zone. Levis, that pump. Hopkins behind the defender, and he's got it on the run. 3rd touchdown of the day. Levis to Hopkins. Levis towards the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown. Wow. Westbrook Akine.
4 touchdowns, 238 yards. Tennessee Titans fans were absolutely ecstatic. The football world crowned Levis as the new franchise QB of the Titans, and although Will never managed to achieve a comparable performance, with his final stats of the 2023 season being 1,808 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, he still played well enough throughout the rest of the season to give Tennessee Titans fans and the rest of the football world hope that he would be the QB of the future, or at least for the next couple of decades. the Tennessee Titans made moves to help him out in free agency in the following offseason, grabbing Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard in free agency, a running back and a receiver, respectively, and revamping their offensive line through the draft and free agency. With a stingy defense on the other side of the ball, many speculated that the Titans were poised to make a play at the division at the very least, and even potentially make another playoff run. The first 3 games of the season were crucial in building confidence in the team and in the fan base as well, as they looked to be incredibly easy games. Game 1 was against the Chicago Bears, who would be debuting that year's number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, as their starting quarterback. Of course, Titans fans were excited because the rookie QB would have to adjust to the speed of NFL defenses and the schemes of NFL defensive coordinators essentially on the fly. And they were correct, as Caleb Williams struggled mightily during the game, and entering the fourth quarter, the Tennessee Titans were poised to start the season with 1 in the win column. And then this happened.
Here it comes. Great blitz pick on Spears, but that gets knocked away from Levis by Darrell Taylor. Loose ball. And out of the pack, it looked like Edwards. Chicago ball inside the Tennessee 35.
I remember thinking at the time, well, that's not too bad. They only managed to get a field goal as a result of that, and we're still winning, even if it's only by 1 point. We just have to march down the field and score another touchdown, and our defense can hold them.
3rd down and 6. Here they come. Gordon's coming. Levis gets wrapped up. Flings it ahead. It's picked off. Tyreek Stevenson will give the Bears the lead on another defensive play.
And that was when Will Levis lost us the game. But then again, it's only 1 game, of course, right? The Titans played the Jets in Game 2, and they had just been walloped by the 49ers. Their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, was beginning to play like a 40-year-old quarterback coming off a major injury, which of course he was. This was the perfect bounce-back game. And then
3rd and goal. Levis looking. Levis tripped. He tried to shovel it. That ball is free, and the Jets have it.
Will Levis had done it again, dropping the Tennessee Titans to 0-2. Despite this setback, Titans fans' hopes were not yet crushed. Game 3 was the easiest game of them all. It was against the Green Bay Packers, and at first glance it looked like to be our easiest game yet. This time the opposing quarterback was none other than the aforementioned Malik Willis, the man who had once been Ryan Tannehill's heir apparent. He had spent most of the offseason as the 3rd-string QB of the Tennessee Titans until just a week before the season began. He was traded to the Green Bay Packers, who promptly made him their backup QB. The Packers starting QB, Jordan Love, had been injured in Week 1, and now Malik Willis, who had been with the team for only a couple of weeks, had to fill in. For Titans fans, this was a dream come true. The opposing quarterback was our former 3rd-string QB, who we in the larger football world had written off as a borderline practice squad level player. And on top of that, he only had a total of 4 weeks to learn a playbook that was supposed to be learned in months. But it seemed like a great dream indeed, but that dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
3 receivers to the top of your screen. Willis looking that direction. Down the sideline. Floats it up and a jump.
How long can he play at a high level today in this heat will be the big question.
2nd down and goal from the 5. Willis keeps on the zone read. Bouncing towards the goal line. Touchdown.
Big plays.
He'll pull it and keep it. And Willis on the run. Down the sideline. Got a block and out of bounds. And Willis off play action. Short to his tight end Kraft, who breaks a tackle up the sideline. And Kraft. Well, Tennessee's gone into the locker room each of the first 2 weeks with a lead. That won't be the case today. Willis to the air. Zips it in. Christian Watson hurdling high at the 2nd down and 15. Willis with pressure coming, swings it to Wilson. He's got blockers in front. Wilson inside the 20. A convoy in front. Wilson all the way in.
And that that was the final nail in the coffin for Tennessee Titans fans. Not only had Will Levis played poorly, but the guy who he was supposedly better than looked leagues ahead of him. Although there were still 14 more games to go in the season, at that point the die was cast and Will Levis's fall from grace was complete. Injuries limited Willis to only 12 games in which he threw for 2,091 yards, 13 TDs, and a crushing 12 interceptions. Meanwhile, the team dragged itself to a 3-14 season, clutching the number 1 spot in the NFL draft, in which they drafted quarterback Cam Ward from Miami, officially ending Will Levis's reign and perhaps his NFL career. But then again, perhaps not. After all, Will Levis still has a rocket arm, a slick arm motion, and his confidence, while certainly bruised, may yet still make a recovery. His flaws, his terrible decision-making, his poor ball placement, his ability to read NFL defenses are all things that can be conceivably improved, if not fixed entirely. And while that play may have been the beginning of the end of his tenure with the Tennessee Titans, perhaps this place in his career is merely the beginning of his overall football career.